ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Argentina, the United States of America, and the Lincoln Alma Mater.
ties that bind us in fond memory. Other rivers we shall know, other lands explore. But one day though far away, we'll join hands once more.
Thank you. You may be seated. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage Mrs. Madeline Masidi Heidi, Superintendent of Escuela Lincoln.
Good afternoon and welcome. A very special welcome to our board president, Juan Mora Iarujo, and to high school principal David Redmond, and our external advisor, Marta Cordo, as well as AJ Baines, Marie Beaupre, and Mr. Kenny Paul. A very incredibly warm welcome to each and every one of our seniors, as well as to all of those who watch from home, especially our parents and other family members, faculty and staff, our board members and friends all around the world. We wish you were here in person, but we are so glad that we can share with you this most significant celebration of the school year. Seniors, we are so proud of who you are. Some of you have been at Lincoln since you were in K4 or in elementary school. Some of you have only been here for 1 or 2 years. Some of you are international students, and some of you are from our beautiful host country of Argentina. All of you have enriched and expanded our community enormously. You are a talented group of young people ready to become independent young adults fully in charge of your future. Up until 15 months ago, you lived privileged lives, protected and shielded from all kinds of strife. And then suddenly, in the past 2 years, you were thrown into some of the most challenging times in the history of the world. Quarantine, lockdown, curfews, a global pandemic raging around the world, affecting everyone in multiple ways. No one was truly prepared for this, and certainly you never imagined that this would be your reality. But the amazing news is that you are surviving these times, and that during this very period, you actually completed your high school years, which is no small accomplishment. Whatever happens next in the world, you already have the beginnings of grit, moxie, and resilience. The world will continue to undergo rapid and unprecedented change in your lifetime. Some of the change will be unexpected and out of your control, but listen to this. Some of the change will be brought about by you, because you see the need for change. The world needs compassionate, smart, and resilient young people to lead the changes ahead. So grounded in the love of your family, the values that Lincoln has taught you, and your very own sense of self, you are ready to adapt to the changing world around you. You're already doing it. Yes, the world needs you now more than ever, and what's so spectacular is that you are ready for the world. And no matter how far away you go, no matter how much the world changes, please know that Lincoln will always care about you and will always welcome you back home. From all of our Lincoln community, our congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Heidi. Ladies and gentlemen, faculty members, Board of Governors, friends, family, most important of all, students. Welcome. This afternoon marks a special day in the lives of the Lincoln community. Our graduation ceremony is long awaited, highly prized, and richly deserved. It's an important time not only for educators and students, but even more so for grandparents, parents, families, and friends to gather to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2021. A great many people have contributed to this moment, and I would like you to join me this evening as we celebrate and thank them, showing our appreciation. I would like to acknowledge the particular role that our teachers have played in preparing our students to take this step forward. We in education are unique among professionals in that our successes are measured not by our own gains, but by the successes that we engender in others. This is borne out not only in the cultivation of young minds and the attainments of our ambitions, but also by the degree of care that our students demonstrate for one another and for those beyond our walls. And so, for our community service activities, our performing arts, our sports events, our academic results, for the long hours and difficult conversations, for the challenging moments, for the courage to hold fast to principles, for the humility to put our students' interests far beyond their own, I ask that we take a moment to thank our teachers whose unyielding efforts, expert guidance, and unswerving devotion have made this year possible. To our teachers, thank you. Special thanks go to our senior advisors, Naomi Barber, Mercedes de Paula, Kevin Duncan, Sarah Fang, Ramez Malik, and Mr. Kenneth Paul. Several key members of our staff have played very important roles for you as you go through the rigors of your senior year, and they should be recognized as follows. Alexandra Baines, our IB coordinator. Silvina Lopez Fernandez, our CAS coordinator. Marie Beaupre, counselor. Jessica Lawrence, counselor. Rosemary Fatamari, activities and athletics director. Ms. Andrea Rodriguez, national programs director. And Ms. Madeline Heidi, our superintendent of school. I would like to also shout out a well-deserved thank you to Ali Perez, Elizabeth Alonso, and Carolina Risso in the high school office, without whom none of this could be possible. Special thanks to our IT, maintenance, cleaning, and setup teams, to our communications and business office, and all the people behind the scenes at Lincoln who contributed to this event this evening. Thank you. A special thanks to Ms. Marta Corda, who was instrumental in making this event possible. Ms. Corda. As we all know, being a parent is no easy task. And without the constant embrace of our Lincoln parents, our students would not be where they are tonight. Tonight is a ceremony that unites grandparents to parents, parents to children, and children to one another and to the wider community that awaits them. In time, the learning that takes place in high school will fade away, and all that will endure is the love and support of your parents and families. I would be remiss if I did not ask the seniors to join us all in expressing our sincerest appreciation to our Lincoln families, with whom we have worked for so long, so well, to bring this moment to fruition. Thank you to our parents. And I would further like to express my deepest appreciation to the generous people of Argentina who have welcomed us into your midst. Yours is a beautiful country endowed with a rich heritage, several unique cultures, all of which you may be justifiably proud. It's a privilege to be guests in your country. Thank you for the warm welcome that you have extended to me and to my wife, to our students, and to all of us who have come from abroad to become members of the Lincoln community. Muchas gracias. And so, as I celebrate with you in the joy of this evening's ceremonies, I also share with you a very keen appreciation of just how much care it takes to be where we are tonight. The path to graduation is seldom straight. No one could have predicted the degree of challenge that has befallen the class of 2021, and you have been thrown into a world of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity like no other class before you. Given all that we have endured as a community, it is so gratifying to see this class of condors take flight unrestrained and ready to take on an uncertain future with brave resolve. As a class, you have chosen positivity over negativity, optimism over pessimism, and hope over fear. It has been remarkable to see you thrive and to hold fast to these Lincoln values even while so many around you have been overwhelmed by despair, doubt, and distress. Amidst these challenges, though, it is not what any of you signed up for. You have been offered an education that builds resilience, confidence, and empowerment that will enable you to succeed in a constantly changing and ever menacing world. Here's what the New Zealand poet Glenn Colquhoun has to say about taking this stance in the modern world in his poem, The Art of Walking Upright. The art of walking upright here is the art of using both feet. One is for holding on, the other is for letting go. Now, as it is time for you to leave Lincoln, with the one foot you will let go, and with the other you will venture forth. And I can assure you that learning what to let go of and what to hold on to is the work of a lifetime. It never ends. And if we can learn to stand on our own 2 feet, then we can learn to support others. And if we can learn to support others, then maybe, just maybe, we will have a slim chance of setting this world aright. Our hearts and minds are with you as you engage in finding this precarious balance. I wish that you all continue to prosper in health, in friendship, in family, and in learning throughout the world as you have done here at Lincoln. And now, we take a special moment to bid farewell to some very special people in our lives, teachers who are leaving Lincoln this year, many of whom you have known for many years. Ms. Alejandra Guerrero. Ms. Rita Lithgow. Ms. Maria Megales. Ms. Lucila Ojajar. And Senior Miguel Vitaliano. And also, as we prepare to say goodbye to our seniors, we would like to recognize their longevity at Lincoln. It's a feature of international schools that families come and go, and that over the years, few students actually graduate with members of the first class they knew in elementary school. But this year marks an exception to that rule. And so now I would like to recognize the members of the class of 2021 for their longevity at Lincoln. Would all members of the class of 2021 please rise? Thank you. And now I will invite you to take your seats in reverse order of your arrival at Lincoln. And if you arrived at Lincoln in grade 12, please sit down. Grade 11? Grade 10? Grade 9? Grade 8? Grade 7? 6? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kindergarten. Wonderful. Let me present to you the lifetime members of the class of 2021 for whom it's been the pleasure to work with for their entire school career. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause. Congratulations to Carlotta Ambrosi, Juan Ignacio Camara, Leonardo Lautasinki, Aguiar Di Angelo, Felicitas Haddad, Christian Michael William Romers, Maximilian Carl Philip Romers, Lucia Selene Sacerdoti, and Valeria Eileen Zheng. Thank you. You may be seated. Now it is my pleasure to invite the winner of our Premio Académico al Estudiante Bilingüe Award to take the stage, Ms. Ana Paula Rivera Aguiar.
Buenas tardes, queridos padres, profesores, compañeros y miembros de la comunidad Lincoln. Me llamo Ana Paola Rivera Aguilar y es un honor para mí estar hoy aquí delante de ustedes y formar parte de la promoción 2021. Todavía recuerdo mi primer día en Lincoln, en agosto del 2019. Yo soy mexicana, pero antes de entrar a Lincoln viví 2 años en Madrid. Este fue mi primer colegio internacional. Tenía una mezcla de sentimientos. Por un lado, me emocionaba vivir en Buenos Aires, conocer una nueva cultura y hacer amigos de diferentes lugares del mundo. Pero a la vez tenía miedo. Miedo a ser la nueva, a las miradas de los otros. Miedo a lo desconocido. Crucé las puertas del colegio pensando, voy a hacer que estos 2 últimos años de secundaria sean inolvidables. Y vaya que lo fueron. Conocí a personas maravillosas que desde el primer día me ofrecieron su amistad, saludándome con un cálido, hola, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres? Me enfrenté a retos y dificultades que nunca me imaginé, incluyendo una pandemia, siempre repitiendo la frase que me motiva desde que soy pequeña, lo que no te mata te hace más fuerte. Y pude lograr mi sueño, por el que estuve trabajando todos estos años, lo que me hacía despertarme cada mañana y también desvelarme. Entrar a la universidad que siempre había querido para estudiar medicina. Una frase que me gusta mucho es, las estrellas no pueden brillar sin oscuridad. Si algo caracteriza a esta promoción es su fortaleza y su resiliencia. Supimos adaptar nuestras vidas a esta nueva realidad en cuestión de días. Pasamos de vernos diariamente en el colegio a estar frente a una pantalla varias horas, sin poder salir de nuestras casas o ver a nuestros amigos. Sin embargo, cada uno de nosotros logró sacar lo mejor de sí mismo y brillar como las estrellas en medio de esta oscuridad. Me gustaría que veamos esta pandemia no como algo que nos arruinó los últimos años de colegio, sino como un desafío que nos hizo más fuertes, más maduros y capaces de saltar cualquier barrera que el destino nos ponga en medio del camino. Llegar hasta este momento no habría sido posible sin el apoyo de nuestros padres y profesores. Mamá, gracias por siempre ayudarme a levantarme cada vez que me caigo, por escuchar mis locas ideas una y otra vez y darme los mejores consejos. Papá, te agradezco por siempre confiar en mí, por enseñarme a vencer mis miedos y a nunca darme por vencida. Ambos son un ejemplo de vida para mí. Profesores, ustedes siempre con su gran sonrisa y actitud entusiasta esperándonos, ya fuera en el colegio o en línea. Gracias por las charlas que tuvimos, no solamente académicas, sino también sobre nuestros miedos y pasiones. Por cada una de sus retroalimentaciones para hacernos mejores estudiantes y personas cada día. A lo largo de estos años se convirtieron en nuestros consejeros y amigos y siempre los recordaremos. Gracias, Lincoln, por unirnos y por formar personas preparadas para el futuro, que se preocupan por su planeta y por los demás. A cada uno de nosotros nos espera un futuro distinto, pero antes de ser médicos, ingenieros, economistas, artistas o cualquier otra profesión, somos seres humanos. La principal meta de nuestra vida debe de ser la felicidad. Pero recuerden que la felicidad no es hacer lo que uno quiere, sino querer lo que uno hace. Sean auténticos, defiendan sus sueños y aférrense a sus principios y valores sin importar el qué dirán. Me gustaría cerrar con una frase de la doctora Elizabeth Blackwell, la primera mujer en obtener el título de medicina. Ninguno sabe de lo que es capaz hasta que lo intenta. Muchas gracias y les deseo mucho éxito a cada uno de ustedes. Felicidades, Promoción 2021.
Muchas gracias, Ana. Let's give her another round of a Lincoln applause. Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2021. The valedictorian is the student who achieved the highest academic standing in grade 11 and 12, and this year our valedictorian is Yuren Billy Cow. Please come to the stage now, Yuren.
Lincoln faculty, parents, friends, and the graduating class of 2021. Over the past 3 years, I've gotten to know a great deal about this school and its unique traditions. As a class, we competed in annual events like Unity Day and SAC conferences, solved riddles of the day in our economics class, and threw eggs and flowers at each other on our last day of school. These are moments that will linger in our collective memories long after we depart from this transformative stage of our lives. But I've only painted half the picture. As important as these traditions are, our time at Lincoln is also marked by significant changes that challenged our way of thinking and ultimately shaped our identity. When I first moved from China, my home country, to Argentina, I was nervous. I was excited. But most importantly, I soon realized that the place I landed was very different from the place that I left. It was as if I stepped off a narrow path filled with endless exams and grueling competition to a marketplace with a wide variety of new choices and opportunities. I had more freedom than ever to choose my classes, to think critically, and to absorb different values. But instead of feeling a sense of relief or happiness, I felt incredibly lost in this new environment. I was frustrated because I couldn't solve these problems by working harder or organizing my time around to-do lists, which was all I knew how to do. Eventually, I was able to find my place in this community, thanks to my friends, first and foremost, but also my parents, teachers, advisors, and counselors, who allowed me to be vulnerable, stay true to who I am, and find a clear sense of purpose, despite all the challenges and uncertainties that our high school years had to offer, which of course includes the COVID-19 pandemic. In these groups of people, I found positive qualities such as open-mindedness, respectfulness, and compassion, which broke down cultural barriers and helped me rediscover my excitement of living in a foreign country. Norm versus change. These two words signify two states that are polar opposites of each other. The former being familiar and comforting, while the latter uncertain and disorienting. As a class, we have proven that we're built to withstand uncomfortable situations and moments. Many of you have excelled academically while facing the difficulties of online learning. Many of you have lived a nomadic lifestyle, moving from country to country in short periods of time. Many of you will go on to universities in different parts of the world to study medicine, engineering, business, environment, and technology. And yes, these changes could seem intimidating, but as tempting as it is to settle for normalcy and to stay in your own comfort zone, you should never forget that change is the source of strength, growth, and self-reflection. So, my dearest class of 2021, I will not bother you with inspirational quotes such as reach for the stars or follow your passion. I will, however, offer you the same consolation I will tell my 15-year-old self who had no idea about the successes and failures that he will experience in the next 3 years, that the antidote to change is to accept that you don't always have the right answer and to fight on despite that realization. And when you succeed, I have every reason to believe that you will, your achievement will be that much more spectacular. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2021.
As for Billy, thank you so much, valedictorian. Now I am honored to invite Mr. Thomas Choi, salutatorian of the class of 2021, to come forward and to introduce our commencement speaker. Thomas?
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's crazy that we're able to have all of our classmates and some of our teachers here today. Now it feels like a proper closure of high school. Now it feels like we're actually graduating. The graduating Lincoln class of 2021 seems to me like the best class there is. They're one of the most open people I've met. They just embrace anyone. They're not afraid to speak up and put their voice in decisions that seem unfair. They're talented in so many diverse ways that it seems ridiculous that each and every one of them is not giving a speech here today. You know, I think that we're just built different, and no one can deny it. Now that we're close to the end, the beginning of high school doesn't seem that long ago. I know a lot of people have changed because I know for a fact that I did. We're more mature. We don't take schoolwork as a joke. We don't take friends for granted. We don't waste time acting in ways that we think will make us look cool. And we definitely don't send viruses to our great group chats to get a bunch of people pretty annoyed. Now, obviously, for us to reach this level of perfection, we got a lot of help. Our families have helped us, and certainly our teachers have helped us. All of the teachers have all supported us to the end. I know that it was especially hard for the teachers during online classes because maybe we missed some classes, maybe we turned off our camera, maybe we were just really silent. But you all have to know that we tried and that we're thankful that you did not give up on us. Now, the real reason I'm up here is to introduce one of these teachers, a teacher that the Lincoln class of 2021 has chosen as their graduation speaker. He has taught me since my first year in high school, and honestly, he has made me into a much better student. I remember that my first impression of him was that he was scary. Looking back, it seems absurd, but when I sat in his class in 9th grade, I was just scared. He had a very serious attitude with a spiritless gaze. He sometimes made comments that were kind of hurtful, and he kept writing care in all caps in my tests whenever I made mistakes. But over time, I've come to realize that his serious attitude and stare came about when he was just thinking really hard about something else. Those hurtful comments he made were just his jokes. He just had a unique sense of humor that I know that as a class we've come to understand. Him writing care in my test, well, I don't know about that one. It's still pretty scary. Another thing that I've come to learn about this teacher is that he teaches with passion. He really finds happiness and satisfaction in the content we learn, and he tries to pass that feeling onto his students. Whether it be Mandelbrot or Euler's equation or any equation that simplifies really well, you can feel the excitement. But more importantly, he's a teacher that is very serious about our progress. Every class, after we take a test, you can clearly see if we did well or not. When we do bad, at the beginning of class, he's just serious and doesn't make any jokes. Through this, I was able to really see that this teacher actually cares about how well we do. And he gets as upset as we do when we receive our test and see how we did. He gets as stressed as we do. And that feeling of care just makes you want to work harder next time. Now it's time to welcome our speaker, who has had a great impact on our lives. He who always wears a suit to classes. He who prepares trivia games that I always lose at, but they're still fun. He who teaches math on a whole other level, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Thomas, I think. Good afternoon, class of 2021, and to the millions watching from home. It is my pleasure to share some thoughts with you today, and I'd like to thank you for the honor of being able to do so. Although I thought it was typical of this class that just when I thought I was done with you, you gave me one more job to do. So when I started to write the speech, my first thought was, what do the senior class need to hear on this special day? What can I say to a group that has had their lives turned upside down inside the last year? A group that has had the norm changed when it was their chance to rule the school. Quarantines, curfew, social distancing, Zoom, Rappi, Mercado Libre, no socializing, no in-person classes, and worst of all, the final straw, no IB exams. So here's some inspiration for you. There are two ways you can get through pain. You can let it destroy you, or you can use it as a fuel to drive you to dream bigger and work harder. Do you know who said that? Taylor Swift. Okay, here's some more. The circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It's what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. Do you know who said that? It was Mewtwo. a genetically enhanced fictional character from the Pokemon series. So what's my point? Inspiration comes from unlikely sources, and you do not always have to look very hard to find it. Every time you scroll through your social media feed, you're bombarded by inspirational memes and videos of people doing amazing things. But if you seek inspiration, just look about you. As we encourage more girls to take STEM classes, I'm inspired by the fact that this year's higher level math class, considered by many to be the coolest of all IB courses, was 75% female. As we encourage students to take ownership of their learning and being able to apply their knowledge into authentic situations, I'm inspired that over half of your Math IA submissions incorporated ideas that you had to research beyond the scope of the course. I am inspired that every time one of you make a speech, a performance, when you help a chum that is struggling, when you stand up for what you believe in, advocating for yourselves, for your gender, for your community, or for your planet, all of which I've seen numerous examples of from you. I'm inspired when you simply choose to get the job done, even though it was not the easiest of options. You're not in need of inspiration. You can be the inspiration. But class of 2021, you cannot leave that here. You have worked over the last year under the circumstances where it's easy to turn the camera off and disengage, where the default option is to be mute. But as I finish this first thought, I urge you, as we move beyond this stage in your life and in your education, to turn your metaphorical cameras on. Be prepared to be seen doing the right thing, leading by example, and being prepared to unmute and speak out for what you believe in. You've had a less than ideal senior year, and certainly not the experience that you would have envisaged 2 years ago, but yet you have come through it. As Cormac McCarthy wrote in No Country for Old Men, who knows what worse luck your bad luck has saved you from? You have not let the circumstances of your senior year hinder your progression. You have used the hardship as a fuel to work harder, and now you're here before us, as many, many students have been before, but perhaps that little bit different. Hopefully that little bit less likely to take things for granted, and perhaps stronger because of the challenges you have come through. My second thought was, why did this class choose me? Obviously, there's the fact that I've taught or advised about 3/4 of you at some point, but I think there can only be one answer to this question. You want, perhaps need, one more hit of mathematics. So this is it. This is the last thing I have to teach you. After this, you will know everything that I know and be ready to graduate. Some of you will think that what you're about to see is magic. Some of you understand that is just mathematics. But pay attention, because I'm going to milk this analogy. In some ways, you have come to the end of your journey together. You have been on a path that perhaps started in K4 and ends here today in grade 12. For some of you, that path has had its ups and downs, but as you well know, it doesn't matter what happened in between. As long as the starting and ending point are the same, the average slope will be the same. But what is the point of this journey? Well, what we hope is that all of the math and sciences, languages, econ, history, art, music, technology, theater, film, PE that you have learned have helped you develop into a well-rounded individual. A circle. A perfect shape. But what happens to those well-rounded individuals when they start to follow their own path? Well, give me a second. We end up, we end up with individuals that have so much in common but are now separate. They are no longer part of the whole. So can we aim for more? How can we improve upon the circle? Well, this is where the figurative, and in this case, literal twist comes in. I hope that during your time at Lincoln, you have gained more than just knowledge of the important content areas, previously mentioned. Maybe you have also learned to be a reflective inquirer or thinker. Maybe through MUN or TED, you have become a communicator. Maybe through your involvement in the arts or a sport, you have become more balanced or more open to taking risks. Maybe through taking assessments during distance learning, you have become more principled and committed to integrity. Maybe having coming through over a year of distance learning, you're more resilient. Maybe through the service learning program, you've become more caring and compassionate. Or maybe just through being part of a diverse international community, you have become more open-minded. I could go on, but hopefully you recognize that some of these qualities that I have listed are those from the IB Learner Profile, and others are Lincoln's own character standards. But whether these groupings mean anything to you or not, I hope that your time at Lincoln has given you the characteristics of this: a Mobius strip, a circular loop, a well-rounded individual, but with a twist. And what happens when all of you little Mobius strips head out into the big bad world? When you go your separate ways? Well, wait for it. You can't. Why? You can't. You remain part of the whole. The loop has just got bigger. Okay. So as Harper Lee said, you can choose your friends, but not your family. But that could equally have been, you can choose your friends, but not your teachers. Here again, I would remind you, who knows what worse luck your bad luck have saved you from? Or it could have been, you can choose your friends, but not your classmates. After today, Lincoln will be your alma mater, which literally translates as kind mother. You will always be part of the Lincoln family. You will always be part of the Lincoln Mobius strip. Okay, class of 2021, that is all from me. I just want to finish by reminding you of the expectations that we established on our first day in class. Be prepared to think, be prepared to try, communicate, and try to be a reasonable human being. I hope that these will help you form the expectations of how you approach your next stage in your life, whatever that might be. Congratulations to you, your families, to your teachers. Thank you, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for Mr. Kenneth Paul. Thank you. The mark of a true teacher, unable to resist one last time to give a parting lesson to a group of students that he truly loves. We thank you very much, Mr. Paul. It is now my pleasure to proceed to the presentation of the diplomas, a moment that you have long awaited. I would like to invite Mr. Juan Mora y Araujo, President of the Board of Governors, and Ms. Madeline Mesilla Heidi, Superintendent of our school, to join me on the stage as we begin to present your diplomas. I would like to invite Ms. Alexandra Baines to come forward and assist with a reading of the names, and we are about to begin. Do you take your places, please? Graduates, as your name is called, please come forward, and Ms. Baines will do the honors. You will come forward, take your diplomas, pose for a photograph, go back and resume your seat. Thank you.
Carlotta Ambrosi. Julia Arcagnu. Sofia Barreto. Brian Bermudez Moya. Maria Blanco Bermeo. Santiago Blanco Bermeo. Sofia Blanco Bermeo. Ana Sofia Bobadilla Viveros. Fiona Bonomi. Juan Ignacio Cámara. Billy Yuren Chao. Thomas Ian Choi. Greta Costa. Sarah Crow. Bernardino de Aldecoa. Christopher Mark Ellis Padilla. Emma Aurora Erickson. Sabrina Catalina Galetti. Etan Gat. Nicole Hasse Valdivieso. Felicitas Halad. Felipe Herrero. Simon Knickerbocker Hollebeck. Nana Ichino. Vanshika Vivian Jagtap. Mahar Kanjani. Oscar Jan Daniel Carlson. Lindsay K. Karchner. Kaio Kreppel. Leonardo Latosinski Aguiar D'Angelo. Franco Locani Mende. Laurel McFarlane. Pedro Medeiros Palma. Blanca Medina Corral. Michelle Muskan Malwani. Camila Maria Miguez Ramirez. Roy Pagano. Sun Hong Park. Tyler John Peterson. Sofia Pininelli Carbajo. Simon Johannes Prose. Gennaro Rios Vargas. Ana Paula Rivera Aguilar. Constanza Rivera Perez. Christian Michael William Romas. Maximilian Carl Philip Romas. Lucia Selene Sacerdote. Alfredo Eduardo Sánchez Larazabal. Esteban Sánchez Pereconde. Lara Seigenthaler. Gabriela Silva de Sousa. Nancy Wu. Geronimo Saimul. Felipe Zhang. Valeria Zhang. Jenny Zhao.
Class of 2021, please stand. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mora Y. Araujo, President of the Board of Governors, Mrs. Madeline Machete Heidi, Superintendent of Lincoln, parents, students, family, and friends. As high school principal, I hereby certify that each of these students has fulfilled the graduation requirements to earn a high school diploma at the Asociación Escuelas Lincoln. Students, congratulations. You may now turn your tassels. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you the graduates of the class of 2021 at Lincoln. Congratulations. Wonderful, and
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shining just the way you like. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you.
I'm one of the greatest, ain't no debating on it. I'm still levitated, I'm heavily medicated. Ironic, I gave him love and they end up hating on me. She told me she loved me and she been waiting. Been fighting hard for your love and I'm running thin on my patience. Needing someone to hug, even took it back to the basics. You see what you got me out here doing? Might have threw me off, but can't nobody stop the movement. Let's go. Left foot, right foot, levitating. Pop stars, do a leap with the baby. I had to lace my shoes for all the blessings I was chasing. If I ever slip, I fall into a better situation. So catch up, go put some cheese on it, get out and get your bread up. They always leave when you fall, but you run together. Weight of the world on my shoulders, I kept my head up. Now baby, stand up, cause girl, you
want me.